From the Oklahoma Newsroom, this is the Press Row. I'm Jenni Carlson here with Barry Trammell, and we're brought to you by Papa John's Pizza. Go online anytime and order your pizza at papajohns.com. Let's talk about We Pick and Barry. We got games to pick, all basketball, some big ones, some not so big ones, but let's get started with this one. OSU men, they head to West Virginia. That's a 1 o'clock tip on Saturday. Who wins that one?
Well, I'm going to take West Virginia because I think, the Mountaineers have been playing really well. Even without their two best guards, they almost beat Kansas at Allen Fieldhouse. But I will say this, Oklahoma State sort of exercised some demons on Wednesday night in Stillwater. Played great for a good chunk of February, then played awful for a good chunk of February. But they end the four-game losing streak with a dominating performance over TCU. The Frogs have been playing everybody tough. Cowboys blew them out. That's a very good sign. This seems to be a streaky OSU team. So if the streakiness can start again, then they can win in Morgantown. But for now, I will take the Mountaineers.
Yeah, I'm going to go with West Virginia in this one too, but I could definitely see OSU going up there and winning, no doubt about it. This is a matchup. There are a lot of matchups that don't really suit Oklahoma State very well in the Big 12. They just don't have the bigs to go against a lot of these teams, so it becomes, just really a grinded-out situation against those type of teams. But West Virginia is more guard-oriented, just like Oklahoma State. So if they can shoot it well, if LeBron Nash can get started, if Phil Forte can get going, if those two guys can really carry some things and they can take advantage of the fact that West Virginia doesn't have that inside size like a lot of teams in the Big 12 do, they can score the upset, but West Virginia at home has proven to be difficult. So I'm going to take the Mountaineers, but that's going to be a fun one to watch. Barry, what about the mid-afternoon game on Saturday? That's Oklahoma hosting Kansas, a near miss on a true Big 12 championship game.
Well, unfortunately, it's not for the Big 12 title. It's the trophy's going to Lawrence. One true champion actually is a great logo for the Big 12 when it comes to men's basketball, because it's usually the Jayhawks have it all by their lonesome and do so again. However, Kansas a little bit reeling with the injuries. I don't think Perry Ellis is going to play. Alexander, the other big man, is the freshman, has got some NCAA difficulties. Looks like he won't play. Sooners can match up well inside with Kansas at this point, and the OU guards are way better. So I like the Sooners at Lloyd Noble Center. Yeah,
I think I'm going to take OU in this one as well, and basically for a lot of the same reasons that you pointed out, Barry. But I think that Iowa State loss, you mentioned streakiness before for Oklahoma State, but OU's kind of had the same thing. They've had up and down, and when they're playing well, suddenly they suffer a loss. But sometimes when they come off tough losses, they figure out ways to win and win impressively. I'm not saying they blow out the Jayhawks, not by any stretch of the imagination, but this is a game where I think OU will be more motivated than Kansas will, and on their home court, I like the Sooners on Saturday afternoon. All right, Barry, let's talk a little bit about the Big 12 women's tournament. Not a single game, but the tournament itself starts on Friday, ends on Monday night. Who do you think wins this thing?
Does anybody think Baylor won't win it? It'd be one thing.
Sherry Cole, maybe? I don't know.
It'd be one thing if Baylor was sailing into this thing. But Baylor even has motivation now because they got beat by OU last week in Norman. And let me tell you what Kim Mulkey doesn't like to do. She doesn't like to lose to Sherry Cole. She'll remind her players of that. I think the Bears sweep through this tournament. They're the class of the conference. I would expect a dominating championship for the Baylors.
Yeah, I think Baylor wins this too, and it's a little bit by default, but also by performance. I mean, let's be honest. Except for that loss to OU, they've just been cruising largely through the Big 12 schedule. Don't really see a lot of weaknesses on that team. It's impressive what they've done. I think we've even talked about it here on the press row before. Just the fact that, you lose players like Brittany Griner, like Odyssey Sims, all player of the year type talents, and yet they just keep winning with, frankly, players. I don't know if I could name a Baylor player, but their team definitely at the top of the heap. I see them winning that whole thing down in Dallas. All right, Barry, let's talk a little Thunder. They've got some games over the weekend, a game over the weekend, and then next week we're going to let's talk about Sunday against the Raptors, 6 o'clock Sunday here at the Peak. Who you got in this one?
I'm going to take the Thunder. The great thing about the Thunder schedule is 22 games left, 14 at home. This is a very nice finished schedule for the Thunder. They can take advantage of it. Toronto's a good team, number 3 team in the East, I think. Good chance to go deep into that Eastern Conference playoffs. But the Thunder, I think, will have a little bit more motivation. Yeah. We saw them a little unfocused against Philadelphia. This is not Philadelphia. The Raptors are a good team. I think they'll have the Thunder's attention. I think the Thunder wins.
Yeah, I'm going to go with the Thunder in this one as well. And yeah, I mean, I think that loss to the near loss to the Sixers. I'm already chalking up losses that aren't there. What am I doing? The game against the Sixers a little bit surprising because a team that's not really even trying to win. The Sixers aren't, so really kind of surprising there. But we'll get to see how they play on a second night of a back-to-back. They're in Chicago tonight, Thursday night. But I really think the Thunder coming out of the All-Star break really knows what they need to do, win at a high clip. I think that the Raptors are a team they can beat. I think they will beat them. And then it sets up a big Wednesday game, Barry, here at the Peak. And that's the Thunder against the Clippers, 7 o'clock on Wednesday night. Who you taking in this showdown, Barry?
Well, this is going to be a fascinating game. There's good reason to believe Blake Griffin will be back. He's missed 2 or 3 weeks, but there's a chance he'll be back for his homecoming game. Going to be a big test for the Thunder and that interior defense. Without Perkins, Thunder's much better on offense, but the defense has been lax. The Clippers with Blake and DeAndre Jordan, the Chris Paul pick and rolls, put a lot of pressure on Enes Kanter. Be nice if Steven Adams is back for that game. That's key. If Blake Griffin is back, the Thunder needs Steven Adams to be back. I think Adams will be back. I'll take the Thunder.
I'm going to go with the Clippers in this one, but this is going to be a heck of a ball game because, like you say, it looks like there are going to be some missing pieces back, and I guess there's even a chance that maybe Kevin Durant gets looked at, and maybe he's back. I think that it would be a little bit later next week before he would be looked at, but I got to tell you, even if he's not, if you're still counting Steven Adams and Blake Griffin as being part of this game, it's going to be fantastic. The showdown between Chris Paul and Russell Westbrook will be epic. It'll be so much fun. Russell Westbrook playing so well right now. It really has to be part of that MVP conversation at this point. Might even be towards the top of some people's ballots now after the performances that he's put together. If things keep going well, he could be going for triple-double number 7 in a row, Barry.
That's the NBA record.
Wow.
Michael Jordan's.
Yep, that would tie it. We'll see if he gets there. Got some games to get to before that, but what a fun night that's going to be. Hey, be sure to stay with the best coverage team anywhere at newsok.com and every day in the Oklahoman.